What's up legends, Sammy Shreds here, and today I'm teaching you how to calculate your macros using the exact methods that I use to get my clients shredded. Now, a quick disclaimer, tracking your macros is not essential for fat loss, but it does significantly help. Put it this way, if you were to go and see a financial planner and not disclose your savings, spendings, and your investments, the financial planner would have a really hard time helping you. Tracking macros can be an excellent tool in the toolbox to ensure that you are in a deficit. If you are someone that struggles with disorderly eating, I would opt for you to steer clear and work with your local dietitian. Now, before we set up your macros, we need to calculate your maintenance calories. We need the following: age, gender, weight, and height. This will be enough information to calculate your basal metabolic rate, aka the amount of calories you need minus your training and your lifestyle. The formula slightly changes gender to gender. Females will minus 161 and males will plus 5 onto the end of the equation. For this example, I'll be using myself. 10 times weight in kilograms, 78 kilos, plus 6.25 times my height, which is 176 centimeters, minus 5 times my age, which is 28, plus 5, which will equal 1,745 calories. From here, we take the BMR and we times it by the lifestyle multiplier. 1 to 1.5 for sedentary, 1.2 to 1.3 for light active, 1.3 to 1.5 for active, and 1.5 to 1.7 for labor intensive. For me, since I'm an online coach, I'm ultimately a desk jockey, but I do manage to keep my steps up around the 8,000 mark. Therefore, I will place myself in the light active camp. So we take my BMR of 1,745 and we times it by 1.3, which is my lifestyle multiplier, which will give us 2,268.5 calories. Lastly, we add in our weekly average expenditure from workouts. Personally, I like to use 350 calories as a general rule of thumb. This will be fine for most individuals that train for approximately 1 hour. For me, I'm currently training 5 days per week. So we go 350 calories times 5 divided by 7 will give us an average of 250 calories per day for the week. Now, let's add it all together. BMR times lifestyle, which equals 2,268, plus 250 will equal our predicted maintenance calories of 2,518.5. The reason I say predicted maintenance is we can never truly calculate our maintenance calories to the T. The best way to find out if this truly is your maintenance calories is stick with these calories for 1 to 2 weeks. If your weight drops, you're in a deficit. If your weight gains, you're in a surplus. And if your weight maintains, you're at maintenance calories. Once we have established if these calories are in fact your maintenance calories, we can proceed with calculating the deficit. The severity of deficit will significantly depend on your body composition and your time frame. For most people, a 10 to 20% deficit will be a good place to start. Simply times your maintenance calories by your desired deficit to create your calorie deficit. For the purpose of this example, I'm going to use a 10% deficit for myself. So we start with my maintenance calories of 2,518.5 and we want a 10% deficit. So we times this by 0.9 to give us 2,266.65. From here, it's time to calculate macronutrients. For your protein requirements, we want to use 1.4 to 2.2 times your body weight in kilograms. I like to use at least 2 times the body weight in kilos for most clients. If you are in a deficit, it would be favorable to go on the upper end of this range. If you're in a surplus, you can get away with anywhere from 1.4 to 2 times your body weight in kilos. So for myself, I'm 78 kilos and we're calculating this for a deficit. So let's times my body weight by 2.2 to give us 171.6. And we'll just round it to 170 to make things easy. Now, protein equates to 4 calories per gram. 170 times 4 will equal 680 calories, leaving us with 1,586 calories to spread amongst our carbs and fats. Calculating your carb to fat ratio will significantly depend on your preferences and your lifestyle factors. For those who live a light active to labor intensive lifestyle, it would be favorable to go for a moderate fat, high carb approach. And for those who live a more sedentary lifestyle, a higher fat, moderate carb approach would be favorable. Just don't be going keto on me. We still need carbs as they are our main fuel source when we're training. For me, living a light active lifestyle, I'm going for a moderate fat, higher carb approach with 30% of my total calories going towards my fats. So we'll take my deficit calories of 2,266 and we'll times this by 0.3 to give us 30% of my calories, which will equate to 680 calories. Now fats are 9 calories per gram, so we go 680 divided by 9, which will give us 75 grams of fat. Now the leftover 906 calories are going towards carbohydrates, like protein are 4 calories per gram, so we go 906 divided by 4, which will equal 226 grams. And lastly, fiber. As a general rule of thumb, 15 grams per 1,000 calories is sufficient for most individuals. You will get majority of your fiber through your micronutrients such as your fruit, veg, and whole grains. Fiber is responsible to keep you full and satiated, so in a dieting phase, don't be afraid to exceed these recommendations. So to summarize my starting macros for my 10% deficit, my protein is 170 grams, my carbs is 226 grams, my fat is 75 grams, and my fiber is 35 grams. Now it's important to mention there is no perfect macro split. It all comes down to personal preference. You could go higher fat, lower carb, higher fat, and the results are going to be the same from a calorie standpoint. Pick the macro split that works well for you, but keep in mind that your carbohydrates are your main fuel source when you are resistance training. Now that we've calculated the deficit calories and the macronutrients, it's time to put it all into practice. Personally, I use MyFitnessPal to track my macros because it has the largest database, but from experience, many inputs are incorrect. For the best accuracy, I get all my clients to input their raw ingredients such as their fruit, veg, and meat using NutTab entries. Simply type the food you're wanting to track, followed by the word NutTab. NutTab is the official Australian food composition database. If your item does not come up on MyFitnessPal, but it has a barcode and macros on the packaging, you can simply scan the barcode and the macros will show up. I won't go too much further into tracking food as that is another video in itself. If all the information and formulas have been a little overwhelming today, don't worry. I've simplified everything in a very easy to use Excel spreadsheet, which I'll link down in the bio. All you need to do is add in your stats and it will spit out your BMR and total daily energy expenditure using the same formulas outlined above. From there, you can take those calories and you can calculate your macros down below. That's all from me this week, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. For coaching inquiries, head over to sammyshreds.com.au and I'll see you on the next one, Shredders. Peace.